never known a love so steady. Even gold won't turn your tide. We flow together like an ocean, every low and every high. And I would have you anyway, dear, any way your heart could bear. Even if you had to leave me, I'd always be waiting here. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart, and I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king. I've never known a brighter sunset, but every day I see it rise. I've never thought it could be better until I saw it in your eyes. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. I will hold the world at bay just to see you smile again. And when time begins to fade, I will love you just the same, and I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an impromptu live. We are live, coming to you live from the studio here on a random Tuesday. As you know, I'm really behind on my tastings. I've got a lot of whiskey to taste, to catch up, to get, before the end of the year. I've got my, I had this whole little 2-camera thing going. There you go. I've got all this whiskey to catch up on, and I've been doing these iPhone reviews. I think we can all agree that those have been pretty doggone successful, but I still need to get through some things. So I've got new products here to taste. Blaize Brooks. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Now this is being this is distilled in the USA, bottled by the Bluegrass Bottling Company. So, and I believe that there is, it says for recreational use, Healing Springs, Arkansas. Healing Springs, Arkansas. We've got the Devil Share. This is from Cutwater Spirits. Cutwater Spirits has been doing pretty well in the award circuit, and this is distilled and bottled in San Diego, California. So excited to review this. We've got the Flagship from Ingram. Ingram right here, the Flagship straight bourbon whiskey coming from O.H. Ingram, river aged, as they say. And then Five Brothers. Five Brothers. This is the product that's basically celebrating the story of the Shapiro brothers. So we'll be, this is a mash bill that is an artful blend of 5 different ages, ranging from 5 to 9 years. So excited to taste that one as well. This is an impromptu tasting. I was in the mood for it. I'm feeling pretty good. Palate's in check. I've got, had a, really just kind of want to knock out these tastings, and instead of like editing them and putting them out there later, they're going to be right there live. So let's go ahead and get questions in here. I'm going to start with the OH Ingram River Aged Flagship Bourbon. Now, if you haven't yet, a couple things to talk about here before I get into the tasting. If you haven't already and you're in the New York area, check out my event just announced yesterday. Going to be doing a live tasting in person at the Cutting Room on December 8th. So December 8th, make sure you tune in there or show up there to tune in and see it in person. Well, actually, don't tune in. You'll be there in person. Also, for Repeal Day, we are doing a Repeal Day Expo in Deggy World again. That is a virtual world where you get your own special avatar. And yeah, going to be a good time. So here we go. We are tasting this is the Ingram River Aged product right here. This is, this is a brand that's kind of new to the scene. They are aging on the river for a little bit. I mean, a lot of people are trying to do that sort of thing, but yeah. Super Dram asks, any ideas what states each of these are distributed to? Unfortunately, I do not know. Like, I don't know on that, but right now, unless you're in in one of those states that doesn't allow shipping, you can still find companies that will ship to you. Like Keg and Bottle is a brand, is a liquor store brand in San Diego that will ship. There's also like a lot of retailers in Washington D.C. that will ship as well. So I gotta say, this is a really, really nice smelling bourbon. It's hitting those nice high notes of caramel. Got that cornbread, I like, coming straight out of that oven. Yeah, get yourself a smell right there. Smell that? That is good bourbon. Ingram River Aged, the Flagship 2021, 100 proof, is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Melissa asked a question. With the 4 whiskeys lined up on your table, which one would you pick up first based on the bottle and the label? I ain't going to lie. This Devil Share bottle is like one of the, I'm a metalhead. I love metal. And so like, the little devils and everything, they're pretty common in metal. I love that this guy, this little devil guy, is hugging onto a barrel. And I think it's really cool. I really dig that. This is retailing for I think this retails for a little over $100. This one. I don't know about the Ingram. Look, I ain't gonna lie, folks. This is not one of those tastings where I'm prepared and I got a lot of stuff for you. I just grab things off the shelf. I don't know the states they're in. I don't know. I'm just grabbing and tasting. Is it good? And I think we can mark the check on mark the box on that. This Ingram River Age. This is not only good. This is something I'm going to take home and share with my wife. And this is one of the best. It's one of the best sourced products that I've had of the year on first taste. That is good. That is good. Well, Ingram River Aged knocks it out of the park for me. Wherever they're getting their whiskey for this, that little extra time on the river, no doubt, adds some interesting stuff there. Now I'm going to go to Five Brothers, and I believe that this is. I think this is only available in their distillery, but I have seen it in Kentucky stores as well. So I don't know what the full distribution is on this, but I don't think it's very wide. course, the Shapira family, very iconic, very important into the story of bourbon and all that they have done with Heaven Hill since 1935. Nose is kind of bland. It just kind of smells like corn. Not a lot to it, like a corn husk. Maybe a corn tamale. Not a lot to there. Wow. Talk about jumping off a cliff from what I just tasted. This is really, really not that exciting. So, Heaven Hill, who, supports my podcast, Bourbon Pursuit, and the Fred Minnick Show, so they obviously, I've got a lot of friendships there, but this brand, this product is not meeting the metal that I'm used to. This is not what I'm used to with Heaven Hill. This is a really, it smells like grain, and then there's it like dives off a cliff. You get a little bit of that kind of cornbread note on there, and then it just dives off a cliff. This is not. I mean, I'm recommending just about every Heaven Hill product I can think of over this one in the bourbon category. I'd be recommending Evan Williams Black Label over this, Heaven Hill Bottle to Bond over this. This just such an important, iconic distillery to celebrate the Shapira brothers, and definitely want to hope this label lives on and it fights to live another day. But that pour that I got right here, it's not doing it for me. And the fact is, the truth of the matter is that Heaven Hill's a great distillery. They have a lot of great whiskey, and I usually like most of it, but this one just not doing it for me. So Five Brothers is going to be in that kind of out conversation. Basically, where I'm at now in the phase of my tasting, I'm so far behind that I'm just picking up and tasting, and it either like something's like in for like that next conversation for a review, or it's out. Like what you're seeing here is you're seeing me just kind of do it here on the fly with you. And if you've been watching lately, I mean, I'm far behind on my tastings. But that said, I keep going back to this Ingram River Aged, and John Henderson's been so kind to put in the chat. This is about 10 barrels. We've got it's river aged on a barge to Mississippi. So I mean, that stuff's interesting. But however many barrels, however it's done, at the end of the day, is what's in the glass good? Is what's in the glass good? And he's continuing to add that it is MGP. So let's see if they say that it's distilled in Indiana. Yeah, wow. They say distilled in IN. Yeah. Now, how about that for some transparency? Distilled in N. Yeah, they hid that pretty well. Maybe be a little bit more transparent there, guys. Maybe spell out Indiana instead of the initials. Whiskey's good, though. Drums and drams. Hit that like button, folks. Cheers. A little day drinking. My smell and taste are almost back, but COVID kicked my butt. Cheers, Fred. Man, I hate to hear that, drums and drams, but I'm glad to hear that you are your nose and palate are almost back. I've been very fortunate, knock on wood. I've been good, but I feel like this virus is coming for all of us eventually. So just do what you can to keep yourself safe. But I'm glad you're getting yourself better. So now we're going to Blaize and Brooks. I like this bottle. It's kind of a unique bottle, kind of like bulbulous. This is Batch Homesick. Rich asked the question, what do I do with the whiskey I do not like? To be honest with you, I do keep it around to taste it again, to see if there is anything, that if I change or something like that. Because I like to taste it again to see. I used to taste 3 times before doing a review, but it's simply just not possible to do that anymore from a timing perspective. Well, so tasting here, Blaize Brooks, first nose coming out for me, and this is a Kentucky straight bourbon. It smells like bananas. And kind of like a burnt rice, like overcooked boiled rice. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Like the cinnamon note in there is pretty pronounced. It's definitely a bourbon that is in a conversation, to drink. But I like it better than the Heaven Hill one I just had. But this Blaize Brooks is really kind of growing on me. It's still lingering on the palate. It's kind of viscousy. It's got a really nice mouthfeel, almost oily like. I like that. So it's not like butter. It's a little bit more like oil. But it's got this pepper note to it, kind of like a banana and like a pepper. And yeah, it's a little bit of corn. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good little drinkable bourbon. I think it's got a ways to go before it becomes an elite one, but I think it's definitely in the right direction. It's tasty. It'll do in a pinch. So I believe this is the first thing I've tasted from Blaize Brooks. So kudos. It does not suck. So so a question came in from Melissa. Melissa, who, is a frequent commenter here on the channel. So thank you for that, Melissa. Wondering if you can explain why you like real cork versus the manufactured cork, or rather the the synthetic cork. So great question. I know I am I am a stickler on this. I get really pissy with sometimes, but the fact is, so there are 2 things about it. Like I'm a conservationist, so I'm about planting trees, and I'm about making sure the land is being taken care of. I'm not an absolutionist where I think that means that you should not have a cell phone or anything like that. But I think there are ways that we can tend to the land and and have a prosperous future. The cork tree is a tree, and the cork that comes off of it is bark. Those trees live up to like 300 years old, and so they are one of the most sustainable. I mean, you could argue that they are the most sustainable, species on the planet, because they are sucking in gas while at the same time producing a product that mankind could use. Now, the cork was so important early in America that Thomas Jefferson tried to plant cork trees here didn't work out because, they didn't grow very well in like Virginia. But he saw something in cork that, the rest of the world did too, is that it's used for flooring, it's used for corking spirits, it's used for shoes. I mean, it's a universal, can help in a lot of ways and everywhere tree. And it's the bark. And I did a documentary on cork not too long ago, but basically you scrape off the bark. Inside the bark, the harder edge shell is a foaminess, and they will basically be used to they take that cork and then they treat it. They make sure it doesn't have any holes in it, make sure that it can withstand like liquid pressure and air pressure, and they use it, whereas synthetic cork is made out of plastic. Now, corks from the old days didn't have that treatment to them, and so because it is oak, they do have tannins, and so they can yield out some tannic properties inside the whiskey, and that is it's a roll of the dice whether it's good or not. Sometimes it gives like a dank, musty note in the dusties, and a lot of the dusty note that people refer to is actually coming because the cork is continuing to inject tannins in it from its oak properties. But that's a high level kind of conversation. The more basic one is that synthetic cork has not been around for a long time, so we don't have a large body of evidence of what happens with the plastic or the synthetics while it's in the bottle over a long period of time. I know for a fact that cork only just, it only imparts whatever the tree was. So it'll impart some more tannins. If it is not a good cork, then over time, it will evaporate out, and the whiskey will not be good. However, plastic leaches off into liquid. And there have been studies about microplastics, and to the nth degree of how microplastics are in liquid. And there's not a large body of studies of microplastics in alcohol because a lot of people don't study alcohol like they do bottled water. And so for that, I am not a fan of plastics from a pure sustainability perspective. Now, that being said, I obviously use plastic in my life. I just try to use as little as possible. But then there is the tasting aspect. I have blindly identified synthetic cork that have been sitting in my basement or in someone else's basement several times. There is a plastic note that I have gotten in bottles that have been aged, that have synthetic cork in them. And people can say I'm full of shit or whatever. I just can tell you that I've tasted it and I don't like it. But think about like tasting a water bottle that's been out too long, or a canteen that's been out too long, or something like that. That is the kind of flavor I'm talking about, and did not like it. So, all right. I hope that answers your question there. I was long-winded, but I'm very passionate about cork, and hope that helps. So now I'm going to go on to the cool bottle of the day. Yeah, some good. You heard me bitching about the wax from Detling the other day. Well, this is a foil that has given that wax a run for the money. I mean, you may have a prison shank on your hand right here. So this is Devil Share. This is out of California, San Diego. This is connected to, Cutwater is connected to Anheuser-Busch. So this is a brand connected in some ways to Bud Light. Speaking of the devil, synthetic cork. And I said, speaking of the devil, while I'm actually looking at the devil. How do you like that? All right. Here we go. So this is a 4-year-old. 100. Nope, not 100. 92 proof. 4 years old, 92 proof. Wow, that doesn't smell like 4 years old. This smells like dill pickle. I mean, it's got a lot of dill notes. It's got a lot of herbal notes. It smells like a little bit like cannabis. So, I mean, this is a bourbon, right? Yeah, it's bourbon. If I was nosing this blind, I would think that I'm about to taste a rye. Oh, wow. You know what? That is good. That's got like, oh, man. It has like a ginger quality to it. It has like some cardamom. There's this there's just a lot of herbal qualities. Like the way that this is hitting the palate doesn't hit like a traditional bourbon. Of course, it's made in San Diego, and you know you don't exactly think of San Diego for distilling bourbon, but this is a very different flavor profile. This is really good. Yeah, it's really tickling the tip of my palate, and on that part, you know, we're looking at like a lot of fruit, and then there's like a back palate explosion with these baking spices, but all underneath, just kind of curling in there, are these herbs. Really, really great, flavor profile there. Hey, we got Matt in the house from ADHD Whiskey. What's up, Matt? Of course, Matt's going to be at Repeal Day Expo. He's one of the panelists or a moderator for Repeal Day Expo. Make sure you check him out and all the others. But yeah, midday whiskey tasting because, you know, I got to get through all of these whiskeys by the end of the year. They're not going to drink themselves. And I'm looking at a couple more here. And shoot. I'm looking at Obtainium and Monk's Road. I should probably be cracking those open here to give them a formal review. I got through this really quickly, but listen, folks, y'all ask those questions, get those questions in. But I think we do have a legitimate like potential contender for, you know, when I'm putting my list of my top 20 bourbons together, this one right here could be on it. I think this one right here could be on it. Like this Ingram is really, really good. I like the Devil Share. I like the Blaize and Brooks, but there was nothing exceptional about them. I just liked them. But I did not like the Five Brothers, and I would say that this is one to kind of like, you know, better luck next time for the next batch, but this one just did not do it. So I'm going to sip on this Ingram here. Man, that is so good. It smells so good. Yeah, I stand by that. That's really good bourbon. So, I think we have something pretty special here with this Ingram Flagship. But folks, get those questions in here. Thank you to Matt Ray. He put out 10 bones in the super chat. Says he's got some little something coming my way. I love it. Kyle asked the question, have I reviewed Sam Houston 15-year-old? I have not reviewed that one. I don't even think I have it. I don't think I've seen it in the wild. They did not send me a sample that I know of. And so I haven't reviewed that one. Keep those questions coming in, though. I'm probably going to go grab another one to taste, or maybe wrap up here in a few, but I definitely want to try and take advantage of this midday tasting, as they will. What have you all been thinking about the iPhone reviews? Those iPhone reviews have been really, really helpful for me in getting through these, getting through the bulk of what I need to taste. And believe me, I'm really, you know what? I can just show you. I can zoom in, and you can see. I have a camera here that allows me to show you. So I'm about to show you what all I have to taste here. So you see all that shelving right there? That's how, except for that top shelf. That top shelf is not counting. So on the far side there, all the way down to right there, that is what I am behind on, and that's just overflow right on the other side. So we are looking at, hey, look at that there. So look at that. Look at all those things I got there to review. Those are growing a few back too. Look at that. And so those are the smaller samples, okay? And then you got these guys. So question is from you all, what should I taste out of that bunch? Now you saw the reviews there, but what should I get up and grab for the tasting? So let's see here. I think I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get this Monk's Road in Obtainium. Bear with me, y'all. I'm going to go grab a couple glasses. Give you all an oldie from the collection.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
Okay, we can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle?
Oh yeah.
We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
I think I grabbed everything that you all didn't recommend. So this is the logs. This is a log still product. It's called Monk's Road, and of course, Log Still is a new company out. It's from the Dant family. You know, the Dants in Heaven Hill got themselves in legal dispute over the use of the word Dant. So let's start with that one. So this is Monk's Road from Log Still. And let's see here. It is bottled and distilled. It is Kentucky. So when you see Kentucky straight bourbon, that's a de facto state of distillation on the bottle. Just making a little room here so I can shift things around. Smells like bourbon. It smells like cinnamon gum. Cinnamon gum and corn. Yay. I mean, it's a pretty pedestrian kind of flavor profile, but cinnamon corn, not too over the top of anything else, but it's pretty basic. There's a touch of like molasses in there, but it's a 6-year-old, and I'm seeing this a lot out of like some 6-year-old bourbons lately, but they're just not. I don't know if they're barrels that were put in the wrong part of the warehouse or what, but just not seeing the love coming out of the 6-year-old crops that I normally do. Yeah, it's not balanced, overly alcoholic, if you will. Now, I see a lot of nominations coming in for the Sealbox one. That one is being reserved. One of my future guests is going to be sipping that alongside me. You may know him, country music star Clay Walker, and I are going to sip some Sealbox together. And that was because Blake is a big Clay Walker fan, so I wanted to do that for my buddy Blake. Yeah, I'm not feeling this a whole lot. I mean, it's okay, but I mean it's drinkable, but it's not my favorite. Look, I knew that this thing was heavy in proof, but this is damn near 160 proof. I don't really feel like drinking 160 proof right now, so yeah. I appreciate you for sending this to me. But I don't know. I don't want to drink this right now. I gotta be ready in the mood for it. Now that I look at it, and I'm about to jump into it. I think I'm going to switch this out for the NASA Family Reserve, the bourbon. Yeah. Apologies. I know I got you all excited about me tasting this, but I really don't want to put a 160 proof on my palate right now. No offense. No offense. All right, so I actually, I have what I have here is I have a bottle that is from a long time like Instagram follower and Facebook friend, and he's getting in the game, and a lot of people are getting in the game right now. But when you get this bottle, you got to bring it. This is essentially the same bottle as Pappy. So you got that special bottle here, Let's see what this is all about. This is an American whiskey coming from, it's 107 proof. Rinse my palate out a little bit. Boy, it's been a while since I've done one of these live streams like this out of nowhere, huh? Yeah, Midwest Whiskey Reviews said it best. 160 proof needs a couple days prep. I think that's right. I think I just kind of had this like feel of like, you know what? I can get this no problem. And then you get it and you look at it and you're like, oh shit, I can't do this. It's kind of like when you say you're going to go jump off a cliff into a quarry. And then you get there and you're looking over and you're like, I don't want to jump in the quarry. I don't want to do it. Matt's dropping the knowledge in here for me. It is a blend of 50% MGP, light whiskey 14-year, 25% 4-year MGP rye, and bourbon. So, light whiskey is a category of whiskey that was created to combat vodka in the late 1960s. It basically means it's distilled at a higher proof point, and it goes into used barrels. And so the point is that it's more neutral. And when it came out in the late 1960s and early 70s, The public didn't quite know what to think about it. And it was such a failure that if you mentioned the brands of light whiskey in the halls of these distilleries, you could very well get fired. It was that much of an embarrassment for the industry. It was a huge failure, one of the most epically gone wrong, stories in the history of American whiskey. But it was used as a blending agent for Seagrams. So Seagrams would have a lot of light whiskey made at the Lawrenceburg, Indiana distillery, and that would be used for blending into like their whiskey blends. And it's good whiskey, and some of the ages are really good. So just because it's in there doesn't mean it's bad. But this is smelling like grape fermentation to me. It's got if you've ever been into a fermentation room, you can kind of smell a little bit of like some sulfite. So it's got like this kind of sulfite-y. It has grape fermentation smell. Like it smells like it got some like weird sulfite smell to it. But then it's fruit and like a honeysuckle. On the palate, it's just wow. I think this might be what I eat with my Thanksgiving turkey. This has got this has got a nice backbone. I imagine pairing this with a really beautiful, crispy skinned turkey. I really like this. I think this has got a lot of good qualities to it. That's yummy. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of at a loss for words to explain what I'm tasting, because it's not traditional in the sense that it does not taste like bourbon. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. We're not going to have that caramel and vanilla conversation here with this one for me. But it's fruit. It legitimately reminds me of some of the great Canadian whiskeys that I've had when I'm in Canada, like that they don't send over here. So this reminds me of like some of those styles, and it's really good. It's really good. So kudos to them for this blend here. It's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to go to found another bottle, Broad Branch straight bourbon whiskey. This is the Big Winston. This is 120 proof. Now I can handle 120 proof. I don't feel like I can handle 160. Like now or really most times. So this was barreled in November of 2015 and dumped on June of 2020. And I have a feeling that this has been sitting in the back of my shelf for a year. So yeah, time to drink this. So just a reminder, we got a couple events coming up. We got Repeal Day Expo in Deggy World. Go to repealdayexpo.com. You'll see fellow YouTubers, Matt Porter from ADH Whiskey and Jason from Mash and Drum, as well as Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon Night. And it is a celebration of Repeal Day. Now, why is it not in person? Well, I was going to... Oh, that's a nice cork right there. I was going to go to... I was going to do this in person, but when you are doing an event like that I do, you have to plan for it for like 4 months. And I got when I made the decision back in like August, September to make it virtual, people were saying like COVID was going to rise again, and there was going to be this like the secondary shutdown. And COVID is on the rise again, but it does not look like there will be any more shutdowns. And I didn't want to deal with all that, and I didn't want to deal with everyone else's policies. And I see it a little bit too for my events in New York. And the COVID is not fun if you're an event planner. Let's put it that way. And I didn't want to deal with that. And so now I'm doing an in-person event in New York. And that is, that's free and clear. It's in a couple weeks, feel good about it. And we are all set. It's at the Cutting Room in New York City, but you can check out tickets on fredminnick.com. The VIP tasting comes with a Michter's 20-year-old, among other things. So here I am tasting the Broad Branch Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And I will say that I was so impressed with the Nassif Family Reserve that it may be in contention for my blend of the year. Like that's how impressed I was with that. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know if I can taste it. I'll try to taste it. It's pungent. Like dirty socks that have been left in a college hamper. Pungent. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Oh. So this is called the Big Winston. I'm going to refrain. I'm not. I'm going to refrain. But this was it's coming from a small distiller, and I think they've definitely have I'll taste it again. It just I'll be it's not ready. It's just not ready, but I understand that there are people who do like the astringency of oak, like a good deal of oak. I'm just not one of those people, so but that is definitely out for me. So let us chat a little bit here. Fire away with any questions. I got about 10 more minutes for you. I'm going to sip on. That's not what I want to sip on. Hold on. I love those Uber Eats commercials. I'm going to have pastrami such and such as they bring that in. God knows what they are paying those celebrities. Those celebrities are expensive, but those are good commercials. Hey, what do you all want to ask me? Anything you want to ask me, just go ahead and drop it right on up in here, and I will answer it the best I can. Super Dram. What are some of the other bourbon pairings for turkey that come to mind? I think that's a great question. One that, I don't really talk about this enough, but I think what happens in bourbon is people tend to pair based on the label. And it's cute to say wild turkey pairs well with turkey. That's cute because that's what's on the label. But the fact is that the bourbon is the wrong pairing for turkey. Wild Turkey 101 Rye, that is where it's at. I feel like turkey is a better rye whiskey pairing than it is a bourbon pairing. See, bourbon it skews toward the sweet. If you have a bourbon that's earthy, it may be there, but with turkey, there is a particular textural quality to it that rye bodes exceptionally well against. Rye skews a little bit more down the tasting path of a lot of white wines, and I like white wines with turkey, and yeah, so I think Wild Turkey 101 is a great pairing. I don't like the bourbon with it. I do like. I just had. If anybody has the Leopold's 3-chamber rye, that would be an exceptional pairing. Not the Indiana ryes. The Indiana ryes are over herbally. You don't want to taste dill pickle with your turkey, but I should probably put a list together for folks. Okay, so next question here. Kyle Buska, what is the best whiskey to put in coffee for Black Friday? The one you can reach for the fastest. Yeah, that one, because Black Friday. Jason Harris, what is an available whiskey with a noticeable cinnamon note, excluding flavored such as Fireball? Most definitely Four Roses. Four Roses has a prominent cinnamon note. You will also find cinnamon in Maker's 46. Maker's 46 has French oak staves that are inserted into the barrel, and it yields a really big cinnamon note. Matt from ADHD Whiskey says, Port Finish High West Double Rye pairs so well with dry-ass turkey. Cheers to that, my friend. Cheers to that. Really, more I sip on this, the more I like it. And I got some cigars to smoke. So, and that's actually work. I have to smoke cigars for work. So I need to do that. And I got about 6 more minutes with you. God, this Ingram Flagship is delicious. I'm maybe putting that in my whiskey of the year tasting. That is really good. Which, by the way, I don't think I can do what I did last year or the year before for my whiskey of the year. I'm only going to do like the top 5 or 6. It is, I can't explain to you how hard it is to taste 40 things and be on and not pass out drunk. I mean, it's a skill, and I've done it, but I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. I think what's going to happen, I'm going to do some tastings, and I'm going to I'm probably going to just like write about it on my blog. So, yeah. Jason Harris, what are your top 3 daily sippers? Whoa. I think I might have to do a video on that there, Jason. I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of rotate. I have about 10 that I rotate. And there's a constant. Old Forester 1920 is a constant. Like it's just in the house all the time. My wife drinks it. I drink it. It's fantastic. I love it. Then right now, I'd probably say Four Roses Single Barrel and then Knob Creek. The ones on the outside at the moment would be Rare Breed, Wild Turkey 101, Old Forester 100, Jim Beam Black. Probably, I'm going to shock some people here, but I'm just a huge Spirits of French Lake fan. Huge. I mean, they're on my daily list at the moment. Like that's how much I drink their stuff. Now, I don't drink a lot. I really don't. I just sip. But like what you are seeing here is a large portion of quantity for me. So, Tim, my boy Tim, still going to the Ascots. Still going to the Ascots? ? You mean like the Ascots in England, the race? I don't understand your question there. I mean, because I'm wearing Ascots. You know what I'm saying? I'm always wearing them. Mark, which distillery should I be stopping at first if I was planning a trip to Kentucky for the first time? I think about this a lot. I think Maker's Mark gives the best overall tour. But with Maker's Mark, you get a lot of Maker's Mark. You need to be a Maker's Mark fan or at least appreciate Maker's Mark to enjoy that one. You can't be a just outside kind of looking in Maker's fan and go. But Maker's Mark is personally a very important brand to me. You know, I'm very close with the Samuels and, Bill Samuels. I don't talk about this very often, but around 2011, 2012, I was thinking about giving up, quitting writing about whiskey because it was hard to make a living. And I'm just like, I gotta make a living. And, Whiskey Women came out and he was like, you need to stay with this, my book, Whiskey Women. And he's like, I don't know what you're going to do, Fred, but you're going to change the industry. And that just stuck with me. And I always stayed with it, so for that reason and many others, Maker's Mark has always been very special to me. But that tour, that grounds, the fact that you will get lost going there, that's almost guaranteed, is the reason why I say if you have to go to one distillery while you're in Kentucky, make it Maker's Mark. But the caveat is if you don't appreciate Maker's Mark, you won't like it as much as you should. I actually discourage people from going to Buffalo Trace, not because it's a bad tour, but because of the I wish it could have been better. If you can go to a basic tour and think and just allow yourself to enjoy it, that would be my number 2. But the fact is, most people cannot go to Buffalo Trace without wanting to buy a bottle of Blanton's, wanting to get Pappy, wanting to know why they didn't get Freddie, things like that. I get a little nervous about, sending people there. It's a great distillery. I love it. They give amazing tours, but everyone just ends up not happy because they can't get what they want there. And it's a weird psychological situation. It's very strange. If you are in Louisville, Rabbit Hole, Angel's Envy, Peerless, Evan Williams, they're all special. Yeah, I mean, I like them all. They're all great. Oh, Tim says the Ascot Awards. Yeah, we are going to do, the Ascot Awards are happening again. That's right. They sure are. Rich says Fred has to smoke cigars and drink whiskey for work. Oh, the burden. Hey, listen, Rich, I tell you what. You don't know until you've walked in the shoes. If you had to drink whiskey and smoke cigars for a living, who knows? Who knows what happened to you, Rich? You may not be the svelte, like, workout king that you are, and like be able to pump 500 pounds and run a 6-minute mile like you do, but oh, it's a good time. Barrel Seagrass. Man, I love Barrel Seagrass. You can find my review on that one. That shit is good. I just had that with Be Real. He was smoking weed to it. I wasn't. I don't smoke weed, but I respect those who do. And he was all up in that. Jason. Okay. I just tried OESF. Oh, yes, and absolutely love it. Currently on the hunt to get a few. Listen, Jason, you are talking my language. F is my favorite yeast. My favorite yeast. So I went over a little bit, but I've got time for a couple more questions here. Crump in the Cask Hole. Favorite American distilleries not in Kentucky. I love Bushmills in Ireland. It's beautiful. I love it. I love Bushmills. And you're not too far from where the Led Zeppelin cover was photographed. I'm such a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Big fan of cognac in general, but especially Remy Martin. Remy Martin's a really gorgeous distillery. Love it. Okay, so Jeff Hodges taking Rare Breed for Thanksgiving. Seems like Wild Turkey is in order. Cute, really. I just bought the rye versus, so I will take that too for a taste test. Jeff, you let me know who is the winner. Is it the bourbon or is it the rye? Folks, I think that's going to do it for me. I've got, like I said, I got to go smoke some cigars. It's legitimate work. A little hint. I may be having a cigar that you can buy later. So it's real work. But that's going to do it, folks. Thank you all who have been here through the whole time. And I know it's a midday bourbon session. It's a midday taste. But that's how we're going to do it here. Probably for the the unknown time frame, because I got to be honest with you, the tastings, I am so behind, but I'm so behind because I'm busy with a lot of good projects. I'm busy with a lot of things that are, making all this more cool. And I just really am thankful to have all you all along, with me through the whole time. You all, I've said it many times, but my YouTube community saved me in the pandemic, and you all are the best, and I appreciate you so much. You'll never understand how much I appreciate you, and while I'll keep on keeping on just for this little old community here. So I know we're tiny, but we're mighty. Woo! We're mighty. So I'm going to go smoke a cigar, and if you're in the area, you happen to be in the Norton Commons area, come up and join me. And I'll smoke a long ride with you. Cheers. Oh, vodka sucks.